Have you ever been in a situation that was just designed to scare you, to shake you up, throw you completely off balance, only to find out that the most powerful thing you could do was to do nothing at all? We're about to jump into a story that flips our whole idea of power and peace right on its head. So, this idea from the spiritual teacher ShriPrashant is really our North Star for today. What does it actually mean to be a joyful, secure insider? To feel so completely at home in the world that nothing can really get to you. Well, he shares this simple, incredible story that holds a really profound answer. And our story begins not in some stuffy lecture hall, but in the crisp, quiet air of the mountains. Okay, I want you to picture this. You're at a camp for young kids, nestled way up high in the Himalayas. The air is thin, the mountains are just majestic, and everything has this sense of deep stillness. This is the stage for a lesson that absolutely nobody saw coming. So inside, you've got this group of little kids, maybe 5 to 8 years old, and they are just lost to the world, fast asleep. They're in that state of total, innocent trust, feeling safe in their little bubble. And it's into this perfectly serene scene that a mischievous plan is about to be unleashed. The teacher, who's also the narrator of our story, decides he wants to stage a little experiment. With a bit of a trickster spirit, he wanted to see if he could provoke a reaction, see if he could just shatter that morning peace. And oh, he came prepared. He had what he thought was a whole arsenal of fear. A few masks he describes as really scary, some rubber snakes, and even a mean-looking dragon. The stage was totally set for a classic scare. So the plan was super simple. While the kids are sleeping, he's gonna sneak in, he's gonna throw on the masks, wave the dragon around, maybe make the rubber snakes hiss a little bit. The whole point? Startle them, to scare them, to get a huge reaction. But this is where the entire experiment, this whole conspiracy of clowns just completely and utterly falls apart. The reaction he got was not at all what he was banking on. So, as he's in the middle of his big, scary performance, one little girl, she doesn't scream, she doesn't even jump. She just lazily opens one single eye. She just takes in the whole ridiculous scene. This grown man, the silly mask, the fake snake. And then, with all the sleepy contempt a little kid can muster, she dismisses his entire performance with 4 little words, rolls over, and goes right back to sleep. Her message was it was crystal clear, devastatingly simple, and unbelievably profound. And in that one moment, the teacher admits he actually felt hurt. I mean, his whole big show, his scary arsenal, was just brushed aside like he was some kind of fool. But right after that little sting of rejection, this powerful realization washed over him. She had just taught him a massive lesson. And this is the question the story is really asking all of us, right? When life comes at you, with all its anxieties, its challenges, its attempts to throw you off, looking like some scary dragon or a hissing snake, what's your go-to response? The lesson from that amazing little girl is this. The most powerful response isn't to fight back, or to argue, or to get all worked up. It's to just look at the thing that's trying to wreck your peace and simply question why it even matters. And then you go back to your center, your own inner peace. You refuse to give the disturbance any power because you won't even engage with it. You, in effect, just start snoring right in the face of all that chaos. Okay, so let's take this beautiful, simple story and really pull out the deep spiritual teaching that's hiding inside it. This isn't just about ignoring things that annoy you, it's about a whole fundamental way of being. In his teachings, ShriPrashant calls this state joy, or ananda. And it's not the same thing as happiness, right? Happiness usually depends on what's happening outside of us. Ananda, that's the deep, unshakable pleasure that comes from not being affected. It's that inner peace that stays solid, even when all the clowns of the world are trying their best to unsettle you. Think about it this way. When you give a reaction, you're basically handing over your power. You're telling the clown that, yep, they have the ability to destroy your peace. You're playing their game. But when you're truly indifferent, you refuse to even step onto the field. You get to keep your peace because you never gave it away in the first place. And this takes it even a step further, which is so cool. It's not about actively disapproving of something or pushing it away. True indifference means the thing trying to bother you doesn't even register enough to be worthy of your disapproval. It's just irrelevant. All right, so let's bring all this home, literally. Let's look at how this all builds up to that ultimate state of being, feeling completely and totally at home, no matter what's going on around you. So, how do we get there? How do we cultivate this feeling of being at home in the world? Well, it starts by shifting our whole perspective. We start to see the world like that little girl did, as a playground, not some battlefield where we have to react to every little threat. Then, it's about making a conscious choice not to give our energy to people or situations that thrive on drama. Their power literally disappears if you don't grant it to them. And this really comes from finding your security inside yourself, not looking for it outside. And all of that leads to this one powerful truth. The greatest reaction is, very often, no reaction at all. And this brings us right back to where we started. True power, truly owning your world, it doesn't come from winning fights or being the loudest one in the room. It comes from being so casually, so innocently at home in your own skin that the drama of the outside world just can't touch you. What if we could all find that state, that ability to face life's nonsense, not with fear, not with anger, but with the deep, unshakable peace of a sleepy little kid, held totally secure in the arms of existence itself? Maybe that's the life we're all really searching for.